From Kajiado, we are back here in Nairobi, and we are crossing over to the Kempinski Hotel, where there's the opening ceremony of the launch of the African Broadband Mapping Systems, that is Africa BB Maps for Kenya. And I can see currently addressing is PS Stephen Isaboke. Let's first of all listen in.
From the old 3G, 2G type, where you just were doing very basic communication, to a data-enabled communication, which in fact is what broadband is actually here to enable. And our national digital master plan, for Kenya, and bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which in fact is what His Excellency the President of the Republic has actually been fronting, are very clear on the place of broadband, empowering our economy and our intention to achieve that goal. As a regional leader in ICT, Kenya has firmly positioned itself on the path towards a digital future, with ambitions on broadband penetration by 2030, prioritizing unserved and underserved communities that have historically been left behind in terms of digital connectivity. This commitment reflects a broader vision to harness technology to transform our lives and drive inclusion and national development. And I think DG spoke to the 1,450 digital hubs that in fact the current government is implementing across the country, working, of course, with a multi-agency team, with the ICT board, the CA, the Kenya Power and Lighting team. All of them actually working in sort of a close coordination to ensure that we deliver that vision of a connected Kenya. By developing a harmonized, validated, and publicly accessible broadband maps, we shall actually be able to make informed decisions that optimize infrastructure investments and policy interventions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's actually gratifying to note that one of the remarkable aspects of Africa's PP Maps project is actually the holistic and inclusive design, which integrates broadband data with related sectors such as energy, and I've mentioned Kenya Power Lighting, transport, and someone was talking about all these cameras, speed cameras we see on the highways, healthcare, such as our primary healthcare or universal healthcare that we are actually very busy implementing, education, and urban planning. I see this integrated approach as a central to the formulation of evidence-based policies, recognizing broadband's role as a key driver of a multi-sectoral development. Open data, which the ambassador spoke to, open data access and adoption of international standards further enhance transparency and encourage collaboration across government agencies, regulators, private sector players, civil society, and development partners. And as many of you will know, Kenya adopted a very, very robust, very liberal approach to our ICT sector, starting with breaking down things like tax that we're actually making ICT infrastructure affordable, to pioneering digital migration, and obviously leading into the current space now in this broadband mapping, and the rest of the other very progressive things, including actually freedom of media, which is probably as best as can be anywhere in the world, from EU to the US and everywhere. So I'm extremely excited or delighted to note that the recognition of Kenya as one of the advanced countries in broadband policy and infrastructure mapping amongst 11 participating nations. This recognition is a testament to our significant progress in developing broadband infrastructure and strategic planning, which, as I said, has actually really come over time. If you look at since just pre-digital migration days, when the entire country was analog, you could hardly send an email, to now a very robust, very, very robust connected country, obviously, which will be enhanced with this mapping, which the ambassador actually said you could compare with the very best, with Australia, with Belgium, and all these EU countries that she called out. As already acknowledged by the DG, we are deliberate in our efforts to address the identified gaps in our broadband ecosystem, specifically in data collection, verification, and regulatory monitoring. It goes without saying that efficient and accurate data collection is critical to maintaining an up-to-date broadband map that truly reflects the realities of our ecosystem. At the same time, regulatory monitoring, supported by effective legal frameworks that mandate data submission and quality of service standards